Hi, good morning, good evening. How are you? My name is Carlos. I currently live in Mexico City. I studied a bachelor's in business administration, and I also hold a master's degree in public administration. And I'm studying the Master's of Education at University of the People. I have 7 years of experience in the education field. Let me introduce myself. So this is my government ID. So that shows exactly the person that is actually presenting you during this video. So basically, my experience during the MED program has been very positive. So I have the chance to reflect on the topics that are available in the course and during my studies in the University of the People. I have the chance to collaborate with other individuals of different countries and provide further discussions on the topics that are relevant to the courses. So I think that this is something that is giving me enough information for me to give for my students and to be part of this learning community. So I really think that education is about learning, and the program is teaching me to learn and to change different perspectives on education. Then eventually, so there's some items to be considered as part of this lecture. So a brief discussion of the portfolio. So well, the purpose of the research is to understand the relationship between the design of curriculum design success with argument-based learning approach. The arguments inquiry-based approach is a mode of learning, whereas students ask questions, investigate, discuss, collaborate, cooperate, and reach their own conclusions. This topic is very important for me because there's a new revolution in education that is happening nowadays. Students become the owners and protagonists of their own learning. An analysis of interconnectedness among categories. So, history has taught us that problems are addressed with faith and courage. Authors from different fields of education have demonstrated that ideas and concepts are complex, but the determination to improve the lives of others is endless. Similarly, others have mentioned the risks we face because of the challenges, unless they are upon reflection and action. This is something that is very relevant because without action, then everything is going to be on paper, and we don't want that to happen. So we want to make sure that all the things that we do in education are accessible and actionable in anything that we do. Actions become necessary at the point it is fueled with knowledge and creation from different stakeholders. So in this case, education is not a silo; it is a collaboration between different entities. So we need to identify the school managers, the tutors, the mentors, and students particularly, as well as the parents and other stakeholders. So that might be providing the necessary tools and information for students to be successful. So at the end, so we need to make sure that education is learner centric, and this is something that makes education valuable and as well needed, right? So for students to be successful. This is the reason why educators need to work together with directors, parents, students, and the private sector to invigorate curriculum reform through direct consultation and experimentation. I want to focus on the last point, that's the private sector. So it is necessary that the academia connects with industry sectors and companies from different industries, because that would give a additional perspective of how you can reach the curriculum. So from different methods, techniques, other ways of learning, and as well new ways of learning and approaching problems. So I think this is valuable, and this could help with this interconnectedness among the categories that have been explained. The relationship between the design of the curriculum and the arguments-based inquiry approach that I have touched upon in the previous question. An explanation of how the portfolio reflects your teaching philosophy. My portfolio reflects on education that has been transformed into a social construct. So I really think that that education is not based on theory or knowledge or other abstract concepts, but it is about helping others and making sure that all the problems are raised and improved, right? So it is the application of theory into practice. This is something that is followed by the collaboration among different stakeholders, and the need to change the world and to change the perspectives that we are working on. Many theorists believe education is a social construct. It is the main driver to not only generate knowledge, but also develop critical thinking. So these are the skills that are necessary for the 21st century. So it is important that learners are becoming their own protagonists. They become self-independent, and as well they develop a critical thought on the problems that they face. Right. So it is necessary that students, in collaboration with others, develop this mindset so that they can solve the problems in the 21st century. So in this case, that varies from industry to industry, but in this case, critical thinking is necessary to develop new processes, to develop new products, to develop new kinds of services, and to improve all of them, so that the organizations and even education can improve for the better. Paulo Freire, a Brazilian philosopher and educator, thought that education is about empowerment for social change. In this case, here, this is the focus of making sure that that the knowledge is not just centric to the teacher, but it is necessary that students develop that skill, right? So the teacher becomes a guider, and students become basically their self teachers, right? So from that perspective, so we need to make sure that we pass that ownership to students, so that they become their own protagonists of their own education. This same author, Freire, was a truly believer that education helps with the liberation of people, never their domestication. So here, this is a particular focus on my philosophy on education, that it is necessary that they involve in their own learning process, that it is not about domestication or dominance, or in this case a particular perspective on how they need to think, but a way in which they develop their minds, and they think for themselves, and they provide different perspectives of what they are learning. This is giving them an actual thought on the circumstances and the things that they live on, and how they can improve their societies, and improve for the better. Given these philosophies, I think education is a social enabler for justice and change. So in here, it's important to invigorate the values of critical thinking, collaboration, and as well this ownership that I have mentioned, that is necessary for students to flourish in their view. This is the reason why I study curriculum reform from the perspective of argument inquiry based. That's the ABI. An analysis of the ways in which the artifacts capture a sense of you as a teacher, and on your understanding of teachers and the instructional professor processes. So here it is necessary to develop a set of steps in order to capture a sense of you as a teacher and the use of artifacts. So in this case, I want to make sure that the curriculum design improves, in this case, education. Curriculum design should not be kept to school managers, or school managers have the ownership of education, but it is the educators that need to have enough flexibility to enhance the curriculum, guide the students, so that they have more personalized and learner-centric approach. So in this case, the artifacts need to be guided on flexibility, personalized learning, and as well focus on the learning center. However, recent years curriculum has been fully debated on the following areas: developing non-rigorous standards and better assessments. So in this case, it is necessary that in this case students can collaborate with the teacher in order to develop their own assessments, but also it is necessary that the teachers develop the necessary standards so that the students can actually develop this type of skills, critical thinking. Support for teachers and school leaders to become more effective. Okay, this is from the side of school leaders, so it is necessary that they give teachers their own guidance so that they can be more effective in the curriculum design. But also as well, so it is necessary that the teachers have the enough flexibility to have this curriculum design, and increase emphasis and resources for the rigorous interventions needed to turn around the low performance schools. So it's necessary to give the needed resources so that teachers can actually have an effective instruction and a better perspective of how things can improve for the better. As well, it is necessary that they have rigorous interventions. So in this case, making sure that they have a correct atmosphere, that teachers have the correct the correct environment, the necessary tools, so that they can address the objectives that they have in the classroom. A discussion of the challenges you experience while creating a portfolio and how you overcome them. So it is necessary that no class is perfect. There are some challenges that need to be faced, so that in this case it is effective, and it is captured, and it is perceived particularly by the parents and the communities at large. Class development should be viewed as a process by which meeting pupils leads to enhance the literacy. So it is important that for every single so to say curriculum or subject, students have enough knowledge of what they need, but that's not enough. So it's important to listen to them, to know their needs, and eventually develop the skills that is needed based on the curriculum. In addition, it cannot be stagnant. So this is something that needs to evolve through time. So this is important because students develop new skills. There are new generations that are coming. There are new technology that is developed, and as well, it is, for example, the artificial intelligence. So that is becoming right now very relevant in today's world. So it is necessary that the classroom. So we need to consider the classroom as a living organism, or as a living state, because it needs to be in constant flux. Okay, so it needs to adapt to the changes in the educational community and in society in general. As said previously, the collaboration with the school leaders and the private sector is making this collaboration more effective and efficient. However, the collection of sources is quite complex. So this is something that is another challenge, so that I normally face. So in this case, the collection of information that is depicted from different stakeholders, particularly students, is making the portfolio research more complex. So having the collection of different data sources, that I include primary sources particularly, so interviews, as well surveys, so everything that is actually measurable, and it could be quantitative and qualitative, so it's making things complex. So it is necessary that in this case schools depend on additional sources, for example in this case tutors or mentors, and even the permission of the school managers, so that this is so that the collection of sources is as well is easier. Another challenge would be in this case all the complementary sources, so that are required, and that depend particularly in the research study. So complementary sources may include different ones, but for example, it is necessary to include journals, articles, among others, so that that in a way it is associated with the with the development and the history connected with the ideas of a casual way. A description of how you imagine using the portfolio in your work as a teacher. A sample of 30 students will be part. The students will be